What's going on, everyone? I'm Brandon, and this is the Greening the Desert Project. After going through last year with our above average rainfall, but also coupled with the abnormal temperatures that we've been experiencing through this winter here, it's been really exciting to come to our most barren portion of our landscape, which is our southern portion. And we can see all this sand and gravel that we have. But with all the abnormalities that we had during last year, it's really interesting and pretty cool to come to this location where I've developed different rainwater harvesting structures, but also an overall rainwater harvesting garden design. And so just the same with the rest of the property, I was actually able to experience and see a whole lot of what was going on with the water flow, the sheet flow, and just the interaction of these different earthworks with the rainwater. But there's a big difference between this spot and what's been developed compared to the other spots on the southern portion. And actually in the rain garden area, this is where a lot more mulching has happened and getting a lot more organic material into the ground. But then overall, things have been designed in a garden sense. So things have been prepared in a way for tree planting and all kinds of different vegetation. But what is interesting is to see the amount of new grass growth that's been happening, along with the different vegetation that's been growing underneath all of this mulch. But then even some of the more gravelly spots that are closer to the trees, there's actually been a lot more growth that's coming up there as well. So it's interesting to compare and contrast and see what happens when we're laying mulch down and organic material, so essentially putting in a little bit more effort and inputs, and then comparing a more bare spot with less mulch, but a spot where the goats had already moved through previous, so a little bit of fertilization. So I think that's the biggest thing we can really notice is that with a lot of the mulching, even between the wood chips and more of the compost mulch, we can see that there is a bit more significant growth that's happening in these mulched areas. And it's really just a prime example here for us to show that the mulching is going to be one of the most important aspects for rehabilitating this southern portion because it does lack a whole lot of organic material, and just seeing through the monsoon season and a lot of these heavy downpours, how much sheet flow does come down this way. But then also it's something I talked about in previous episodes about how this portion has actually the least amount of organic material, but we're so close to the bedrock. That's where most of the sheet flow is essentially happening because we don't have any soil. So there's really no rainwater harvesting happening in this section. It's all just running off. But now at the rain garden area, I've really been able to show how we've been able to contain pretty much 100% of the water in this section in general. And I think that's just the biggest contributor of why we're seeing more growth along with the mulching and the compost. But also because we've gotten more water to soak in a bigger surface area than it was previous. And in the previous episodes, I've started from our southeastern corner and started working our way down towards our southwest corner. And I've been able to show along the way just the diversity of concepts that I'm taking advantage of on the southern portion. And that's to give example and to see exactly what's going to work well. And it's partially important that I'm documenting and showing all this right now because we've got the goats on rotational grazing and they're actually coming around towards this portion, making their third round. And that's what makes this portion really interesting is to see the effects of the rotational grazing over 2 seasons, but then seeing the difference between just doing a few swales or earthworks for rainwater harvesting to a more stepped up advanced version when we're looking at the key line design. And then a whole different variation of earthworks and concepts, but also intentions with the concepts in this rainwater harvesting garden. So that'll be the interesting thing over this season even, to see the amount of growth that continues to compound, but how much of a difference each of these sections makes in growing more vegetation, if it grows faster, slower, different varieties and whatnot. So we want to be able to document and see all of this and have a confirmation of what might work best, or are these overall all the same and do they just all work the same? Now there's going to be big similarities between how we construct each of these different sections and portions or ecosystems on our landscape. But a big commonality is that we're going to be utilizing the rotational grazing on all portions. But then it's also constructing the earthworks in a way that gives us room for pathways, for moving the goats, but then also considering the harvest from all of these different trees and the vegetation in the future. So we want to consider our pathways and being able to have access so that if we're going to be planting stuff, we can harvest and have a little bit easier time. But because with the rotational grazing even, we're not going to be able to get every nook and cranny. So we're actually going to have a lot of these smaller little control spots, you could think, around our landscape that won't be touched, won't have earthworks or anything. So we'll be able to compare and contrast those as well. And then the biggest control will be just looking at our neighbors just right across the branches there. Now, seeing things on ground level and up close, all this nice green growth, it's pretty fantastic and everything. But what's also going to help myself, as well as you guys, understand our landscape and see the changes over time is getting this aerial footage. And this has honestly been one of the most helpful tools that I've invested in since we've started the project. And today's video is sponsored by Ruco, not the TV screen thing. We're talking about drones. Couldn't remember what this thing was called actually. The U11 Mini 4K RC3. So this is actually the company's newest but smaller drone that makes it a whole lot more portable. And actually, quite frankly, this is a big step up from the drone that I was currently using, where I had to connect my phone and a lot of connection things had to go on for Wi-Fi to get that drone to work by itself. It has automation features, but that's the best part about this new Ruco drone is that it does have similar features to my old drone where I can program it to follow me and we can get some of these really good aerial shots. But I think one of the best upgrades with this is the remote control, because now instead of having to connect to my phone and look through the screen to see what the drone's seeing, now we'll have a whole separate remote that's got the full LCD screen. And it's also just the added benefit that this screen is a touch screen, but also has all these different programmable functions. And with all the various functions that this remote has, it'll be ideal for the future that I can scope out the landscape more easily, but also with this, I can save the routes that the drone takes so that we can come back to the same pathway year after year and get a better before and after idea of how the land continuously changes year to year. And that makes it so I could fly the drone and be filming on the ground at the same time. So I know that's a big problem I've had is with just having to connect my phone and everything having to try and connect through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So this drone actually takes all that hassle out of it and just putting it all in the remote. And because this is a more upgraded drone as well, now I can actually get a lot higher views and probably a little bit better vantage points of our landscape altogether too. So this is really exciting. And it's definitely not to peer pressure anyone, but a drone is probably a property owner's best investment, not only for ourselves and looking at our own landscape, but this can actually extend out where we can find jobs and do little side gigs to help other people scope out their landscape or properties, or help them with certain projects that might require some aerial footage. Definitely consider a Ruco drone. You can check out my link in the description box or in the pinned comments, and they've got a good selection of different sizes and all kinds of different drones. And since we're talking about extending beyond, I don't want to forget this last little section that actually ends at our southwest corner. So we have our giant basins, and these essentially are the final defense. So any and all of the earthworks that are surrounding and up the hill from all of these big basins, essentially everything ultimately leads to overfilling into all of these basins. So in essence, we really shouldn't be losing any water overall, even if any of the other earthworks overfill. But what's been really exciting, just like I had stated before about the goats having already been rotated through this area, now I can really see, because this area really didn't have too much over the last couple of years, we can only see all this rock and gravel and just the sparse patches of grass. But what's exciting is seeing all this vegetation that is still growing, and it's a lot of leafy stuff. So that is what's almost curious, because we're in a completely different section on the southern portion, but the vegetation compared to the other previous sections is very different in what we've got growing on out here. And there might be some variables with that, because it could be the different hay mix that I had bought for the goats. Could be the birds that we've been attracting in that have brought other seeds, but overall it's really cool to see the green and more leafy, lettucey kind of green that we have growing in all of this area. But since we're in this area, the basins aren't the only earthworks that are going on over here. This spot actually, I want to take you over to show you what I have actually been working on. And since it's the new year, We're going to be creating a whole new...
Heave ho for Growtreeorganics, the tide's coming in. Heave ho, let the work of season 3 begin. From the Zuni bulbous to the swales in the sun, the harvest of heaven has finally begun. Catch every droplet, hold back the flood. We're turning the dust into life-giving mud.